Gamers and gentlefolk, hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm excited to bring a quarter-final match this evening. We're visiting Division D to see ReGen DeGens take on Rooster Pizza WBP for the privilege to take on Protectors of Shakuras in the next round. Div D, the first and second seeds both have first round buys. So these quarterfinals are between the 3rd through 6th seed. So the first of those matches is tonight's. It's a best of 5 series, as all of the postseason is. And a little bit of background on our two teams. ReGen DeGen have had significant time together as a squad, the team formed back in season 11, I believe, as ReGen Rebel, and many of these players have been together on various squads throughout that time. On the other side of the battleground, Rooster Pizza have made it to the grand finals in the postseason before, last season in Division E, so they're no strangers to going late in the postseason. We can take a look at the current standings, which kind of tells you the seeding of this postseason. So as mentioned, FC Hong Kong and Protectors of Shakuras, they've got first round buys here for the first round of playoffs. So we've got ReGen DeGens taking on Rooster Pizza, and on the other side of the quarterfinals, Cosmos and Phoenix Rising Amethyst are going head to head. I don't remember when that is scheduled. I think I knew. I can do a quick double check. That's happening today at 10. All right, so both sides of the quarterfinal will be decided by the end of the day today. Very exciting stuff. Let's head over to our battleground selection to see where we're headed for game number 1. We had ReGen DeGen opting for map pick here. They got to choose all on their own because of their higher seed position. They went with map bans on Sky Temple and Dragonshire. On the other side, Rooster Pizza banned out Towers of Doom and Garden of Terror. So we're headed to Volskaya for game number 1. It looks like we've got everyone in the lobby, so we should be off to the races here soon. I'll just let them know we're already out here in TV land. For everyone who's tuned in, welcome, glad to have you. I know there are many matches happening this evening, so likely a number of different tabs open for all those trying to get as much NGS action as they can. And if you chose this as your primary stream to watch, then we're happy to have you here. We should be ready here shortly. Excellent. We're off to the races. The draft for these two teams, it's going to be interesting. They do have some shared picks between the two of them. So we could see a hotly contested Blaze pick here, as well as Johanna, priority for both of these teams, and also generally strong heroes in the meta. They also both are tough to nail down in draft because of their large hero pools. Both teams have played 41 heroes thus far this season, which is about half of the total cast. I think it's like 45% or so. And perhaps even more tricky still, both teams have played 22 and 20 of those heroes twice or less. So ReGen DeGen has actually played more heroes 2 times or less than heroes 3 times or more. It's just a narrow margin, a little bit over 50%, but that is true, that they've got that broad a pool. We see the Garrosh ban first. That is a common ban against ReGen. Taco has been showing a lot of prowess throughout the season on the hero, as we see the Stukov ban come out as well. I would expect to see another tank ban here. Johanna and Garrosh, both very popular for Taco. Going to be Anduin instead. Fair enough. Anduin, another popular choice for DeGen. But far from their most favored, you know, DeGen have chosen a lot of Right Wing and Oriole. We see the Zul'jin. That is not just a good pick on the battleground, it's also a favorite pick of Pato over there on Rooster Pizza. So we see Varian first pick. Very cool. Given the flexibility that Rooster Pizza have as far as role flexibility, you know, they swap players around. So it's anyone's guess what flavor of Varian we'll have here. We'll see how ReGen respond. It'll be with the Oriole Vala. Vala, one of their more successful heroes, and Oriole, of course, a natural pairing with it. Varian can spec into anti-healing, which should help a bit. We'll see how Rooster Pizza want to finish out this first half of their draft. I'd expect to see a healer snatched up here, and perhaps 1 damage. It's going to be Malfurion and Jaina. So, some additional lockdown and burst damage, setting up for potentially a taunt variant composition. We'll see how ReGen want to respond. They would likely look to ban an offlaner here. They don't have to ban the Blaze because they've got next crack at the picks. So perhaps a Dahaka ban. Volskaya, not necessarily the best battleground for it, but still a very powerful hero. Indecision gets to the best of us. Unfortunately, I cannot see the draft chat, so I don't know how our teams will handle that missed ban, whether or not it's going to be honored. We'll see how Rooster Pizza want to narrow the pool. Once again, I think Johanna or May could be excellent choices here. Taco has been playing a lot of them. It's going to be Stitches instead. ReGen have played a game or 2 of Stitches this season, and Volskaya is one of the Shambling Horror's natural habitats. There's the Tass and Blaze. Blaze snatched away, as we kind of predicted. Tassadar has also been a highly favored pick for ReGen DeGens thus far this season. Pat has played a lot of the Hierarch. Of course, he's also flexed onto some melee heroes, as we see the Greymane and Leoric picked up. Leoric, an excellent opponent for Blaze in lane, if it is Blaze off lane. It could be Blaze main tank. ReGen do like picking somewhat less common heroes, and there's the Mei. So I'd expect to see the swaps come through. We can take a look at our draft for game 1. Varian likely to be a taunt Varian. Malfurion to follow up with Roots, Jaina with burst damage. So a straightforward composition for Rooster Pizza. Oriole, after level 10, will have a save mechanic, but with no cleanse, it's going to be tough between levels 4 and 10 for ReGen DeGen to stop Varian from getting onto the targets. Mei, of course, does have a lot of slows, so that could help a bit, but if Jane is in range of a taunt from Varian, it could be pretty deadly. ReGen DeGen have had a lot more success thus far in the season, so we'll see if that's enough to carry them. I do prefer Rooster Pizza's draft here for Game 1. Of course, it always comes down to execution. We'll see how Game 1 shapes up as we get into it for our first in the best of 5. We can introduce our teams. First, on the left, we've got ReGen DeGen, Taco on Mei, Yamia Cats playing Vala, Prostman Pat on Tassadar, Random Engineer on Blaze, and Villaravia on Oriole. To the right, in red, we've got Rooster Pizza, Cranky Rhino playing Malfurion, Shane on Varian, Dr. J on Jaina, Night playing Leoric, and Pato on Greymane. So, taking a look at our level 1 talents, we've got a couple of quests for ReGen DeGen, both of their DPS looking to get some sacks. Free to the Hunter for Vala, and Shock Ray for Tassadar. On the other side, Rooster Pizza have a couple quests of their own. Not a couple, in fact, just the one. Fingers of Frost for Dr. J. Pato trades pretty well into DeGen there. Of course, DeGen get the early clear on the mid-wave on bot side. Night has traded a little bit more favorably. Leoric is bound to do that into the Fire Bat. Taco takes the aggressive rotation, but dodges that Blizzard. Drops their Blizzard of their own. What a nightmare, folks. I'm going to be saying Blizzard a whole lot. What's the studio that makes this game again? Anyone remember? Anyway, enough of the jokes. We've got Villaravia and Prostman Pat starting up the turret camp. A little bit of a slower rotation from Rooster Pizza. So they might not be able to snatch a second turret during the Protector A phase. Night actually a little bit low compared to Random Engineer here. Another zoning Blizzard from Taco to get Pato and Shane off of that experience. Night taking a little bit of damage from Pat in the mid lane, while Random Engineer pushes out another bot wave. Level 4 is online. That means Taunt is available. Would love to see Rooster Pizza get aggressive here. Try and find a pick. Even Mei could be a good target here in the early going. Forcing out the cryo freeze could soften the main tank up and give Rooster Pizza another opportunity to find an aggressive engagement. Night rotated upon by all 4 of DeGen. They've also got their siege camp rolling in top lane already. It's giving Rooster Pizza a free clear on it, however, so that later grab from the red team could be beneficial. A perfect engagement onto Dr. J. Not much burst healing from Cranky Rhino, so first blood goes in favor of ReGen DeGen. Of course, Rooster Pizza get a little bit of progress on the objective in response, so it's not all for nothing. Level 7s around the corner for both of our teams. Slight experience lead for ReGen DeGen thanks to that takedown. But otherwise, we are neck and neck here. Vala continuing to get stronger with her auto attack build. Free to the Hunter at level 1, pairing very well with Death Dealer and Hot Pursuit at 4 and 7. Any other... Okay, we've got Ice Flows from Jaina, as well as Arcane Intellect at 4, so a full mana sustain build out of the Frost Mage. Wizened Duelist for Pato at 7. A lot of damage onto Random Engineer. Holy cannoli. Pato now falling very low. They're not going to be able to escape, so a counter engage from ReGen DeGen secures them their second takedown. The turret is down on point. Meow Meow Cat's falling low. A great zoning route. And that'll be the first takedown onto the Vala. But they respond back with 2 more takedowns of their own. Shane falling low. Cranky Rhino is the sole survivor for Rooster Pizza. Greymane gonna have a lot of trouble jumping in onto the ReGen backline with both the force walls from Tassadar, the shoves from Oriel, and the blizzards from Taco. Taco falling very low here. They've already popped the Cryo Freeze. They were able to withstand much of that damage. Oh, Pato, once again, a little too deep. And so Cranky Rhino unable to get the healing that the Greymane might have required. So that'll be first objective phase going in favor of ReGen DeGen here. The Protector in the most recent patch got buffed, though the most recent patch was not so recently. Even so, it looks like DeGen, okay, they will put another hero in. Having both heroes in gives you a little bit more cooldown reduction on the Protector's abilities, so it hits harder than it once did. Random Engineer and Velaravia hanging out, trying to zone Rooster Pizza off the objective as much as possible. There's the taunt on to Oriel, but heroics are available for ReGen. Oriel's able to hop in the bunker. Other heroics, we've also got Rain of Vengeance, Black Hole, Avalanche, and Vela still thinking about it. We could see, I would expect to see, rather, Crystal Aegis. And it will be Crystal Aegis, okay. Rooster Pizza looking for the heroic talent tier on their own. Night Knight gonna scoot out of there with their Wraith Walk. Pretty significant lead in experience thanks to all these hero takedowns. A full level. But of course, Rooster Pizza have evened up on the talent tier, so we could see them try and take advantage. They know that Bunker has been used already. As far as heroics for Rooster Pizza, we've got Twilight Dream, Taunt, Water Elemental, Entomb, and Go for the Throat. So doubling down on the burst damage, Greymane opting for, or the single target blow up, I should say. Go for the Throat. There's a Avalanche in onto the Varian. Random Engineers in deep to zone the rest of Rooster Pizza away. The bunker is back up and ready, and so they get a lot more damage out. Another Blizzard Psystorm combo knocks Rooster Pizza low, but they're able to escape. Only Varian lost in that engagement. A route onto Taco. They don't have their Cryo Freeze, but not enough burst damage available to do anything with the CC, unfortunately. Top lane has been in favor of Rooster Pizza this whole time, so a little bit of damage onto that top tower there, and so it'll be easier for them to perhaps step up during objective B. Got level 13 talents here for ReGen. What do we have? Polar Vortex for May. Meow Meow Cat's opting for Tempered by Discipline rather than Gloom. A little bit surprising. but fair enough. Collision Course for Blaze, and I believe that's Blinding Light. Yeah, Blinding Flash for Vela on the Oriole. It's going to help mitigate that Greymane damage, as well as potentially neuter any auto attack Leoric damage. With Paralyzing Rage and Momentum, though Pato caught in the Avalanche once again. There's no taking him down. Taco takes a fair bit of damage here, but they've still got their Cryo Freeze. Another takedown, this time onto Cranky Rhino. Night Knight entombs too, but it's a tomb of their own making. Oh, Shane! Oh, Shane gets taken out as well. Alright, so with a camp at their back, ReGen going to get a lot of progress here on this top fort, likely to eliminate it before Rooster Pizza have a chance to respawn for the defense. We'll see how much more they can get done during their power play. Yamia has to Hearth, low on mana. We saw some pings go out onto that Biotic Emitter camp, but in the end, with Vala back for mana, Rooster Pizza will have a chance to contest this objective without having to handle that extra healing. They've got level 13s of their own. What do we have? Nature's Swiftness, that's going to help Malfurion a lot. Shattering Throw for Shane to handle some of that sustainability that May has. Ice Barrier for Jaina. Additional sustain in the form of temporary shields. Spectral Leech for Leoric, so it is an auto-attack Leoric build. And Unfettered Assault for Pato. They're still trailing by about a level and a quarter and a talent tier to boot. Acclamation for May. So Taco continues to be a sustaining monster. We've also got percent damage online from Meow Meow Cats. Here's the engagement. Night Knight looking to get those percent auto attacks onto the Protector. Shane, blows up. They commit the go for the throat, but in the end, it's 3 takedowns. Rooster Pizza reeling here in each and every team fight. 15 takedowns in favor of ReGen DeGen, with only 1 answered back by Rooster Pizza. Bit of an unfortunate turn for them. Mid fort will fall, as will Keep Wall. Rooster Pizza might be up in time to defend their keep. Night Knight and Cranky Rhino aren't going to be able to put up much of a fight on their own. But now that Pato and Dr. J have joined back up, objective is eliminated, and so one final outer structure stands for Rooster Pizza. Looks like they're going to choose to equalize the talent here before trying to defend. I think that's the correct decision. And so ReGen DeGen kind of get free reign on the bot side of the map here, picking up that turret camp and securing the final outer structure. Of course, this is the part of Volskaya Foundry that can always be a little bit tough to get through as a player. It is always challenging when you're even talent tier, but ahead in levels. You want to be able to press your advantage, but given the length of the lanes on Volskaya, it is so challenging to step up and get meaningful structure damage. Rooster Pizza would love to force a fight here, perhaps over this support camp, instead showing all 5 in the bot lane. It's going to give DeGen the green light to get started here. Rooster Pizza know where they must be. This Biotic Emitter is like a siren call. And so Rooster Pizza could step up here, instead prioritizing their siege camp, trying to alleviate some of this top lane pressure that ReGen, DeGen have between the Siege Camp and Catapults. Mid-wave is big. DeGen could look to push with it instead, rotating down to the bot lane. And there's level 20s and a pause. So let's pop back out here, figure out what's going on with our teams. Slight technical issues with a keyboard, it looks like. So we should be back into the game in moments. And Rooster Pizza certainly have an uphill battle here if they want to bring Game 1 back in their favor. They're a talent tier behind the Storm talent tier more specifically. And so ReGen, DeGen could really press the advantage here. They've prepped bot wave, so I expect them to try and push onto the bot keep wall. Of course, mid keep still very low. They could try and eliminate the major structure before applying pressure to another lane. We had readies go out. Looks like we're getting right back into it. Oh, there we go. Perfect. And there are the level 20 talents. We've got the Avalanche Upgrade Cascade, Farflight Quiver for Vala, Force Barrier, Random Engineer caught in the Entomb. They pop the Bunker. That's a great cooldown trade for Rooster Pizza, but now they're caught a little bit out of position. Two heroes caught in the Avalanche. Meow Meow Cats vaults in, looking for takedowns here on the left side. A silence onto Velaravia. Pato will not connect with enough damage to take out the Oriole. Oriole at 16, opting for Will of Heaven. So additional attack speed for Meow Meow Cats. There's the ice block, but too little too late, unfortunately. Night Knight and Dr. J both taken down here. And Rooster Pizza, Meow Meow Cats vaults in again. They're just taking so much damage from the keep, but tempered by discipline with 172 stacks on the Creed of the Hunter means that Meow Meow Cats gets a lot of healing with each and every auto attack. They're able to tank the keep for a little bit longer than you might expect a Vala to. And that is likely to do it here for Game 1. 20 takedowns to 1 in favor of ReGen, DeGen, and more importantly, the core. And so that'll do it. GG and well played. So Game 1 pretty convincingly going over to ReGen, DeGen. That is how their first two meetings in the regular season went as well. The head-to-head currently for these two teams is 4-1 in favor of ReGen, DeGen. And it looks like they're trying to continue that dominance in the postseason. Taking a look at our post-game stats, we had 48,000 damage from Meow Meow Cats, as well as 9 last hits, 19 takedowns in total, participating in all but one of the takedowns for their team. On the other side, Dr. J was able to get a fair bit of damage out, but unfortunately the takedowns were not there. Only one in favor of Rooster Pizza. We take a look at our builds once more, see if we've got anything out of the ordinary. Pretty typical stuff. Rooting targets at level 16 for Dr. J. Unfortunately, the survivability that DeGen had, especially on their front line with May and Blaze, meant that that additional CC was not enough to lock in the takedowns. All right, let's head over to our battleground selection and muse about where we might be headed for Game 2. I'll also take this moment to update my scorecard. Alrighty. For those of you just tuning in or who tuned in midway through Game 1, welcome. We're happy to have you. We're in Division D for our first quarterfinal of the season. ReGen, DeGen taking on Rooster Pizza. We've got the other quarterfinal happening later this evening. That's going to be starting off in just 10 minutes. Though I couldn't begin to tell you whose channel it's on. But I'm sure it's over there on the Discord. It's going to be on Eternally Blue TV. So twitch.tv/eternallyblue. Maybe we can give them a quick shout out. So if you want more Div D action, head over to Eternally Blue's channel. Fantastic caster. Going to show the rest of the Division D action. All right, so this is Rooster Pizza's first opportunity to choose between Battleground selection or first pick. Given ReGen's preference for Battleground selection, were I the fine folks over on Rooster Pizza, I think I would opt for Battleground pick. Try and take us to a map that we felt comfortable on, knowing that ReGen, DeGen are happy choosing maps. Of course, first pick is still very powerful, and these teams do have contested picks between them. Both Blaze and Johanna have been popular choices for both teams. So there is potency in both options. Thinking about the draft that we saw from Game 1, neither team really picked a Volskaya-specific battleground. So we could see full repeats. I'd expect Rooster Pizza to try and maybe handle the Blaze pick of it all, as we are headed to, I'm not sorry, Blaze, the May pick of it all. Taco on May looking very polished. So Rooster Pizza may try and take that out of the running. On Alterac, Stitch's ban from Game 1 that they did could come up again. I also think the Oriole-Vala pairing was a bit overwhelming. So perhaps swapping up their Anduin ban for an Oriole ban instead. It could be some of the special sauce that Rooster Pizza need to turn things around for Game 2. I wasn't able to watch their regular season matches, much of their regular season matches. Their first meeting, Game 1, was on Battlefield of Eternity, and Rooster Pizza, though they ended up not making the full comeback, definitely had some fight in them in the late game. So it's a squad that isn't uncomfortable fighting from behind. They definitely have the grit to withstand it, and in a best of 5, grit is everything that you need. That and perhaps a little bit of caffeine as well. All right, we're headed in to the draft for Game 2. So let's get into it. With first pick available, I'm interested to see how the Oriole-Vala priority remains for ReGen DeGen. We saw those picks go 1-2. for game number 1, but now they're only they can only snatch one of the two. I think they've had a little bit more success with the Oriole thus far in the season, but Rooster Pizza do play some Vala. They don't play as much Oriole, so the Vala is a little bit higher priority as far as a potential deny pick is concerned. First ban here, we saw Stukov and Zuljin last game. I'd expect to see Stukov again. Yep. No Zergy Terrans for us. And on the other side, Rooster Pizza probably going to... There's the Oriole ban. All right. I'd expect them to keep the Garrosh ban that they had in Game 1. It's not as favorable battleground for Garrosh as Volskaya, but Taco has been showing up on the War Chief throughout the season. So first two bans remain the same for ReGen. We'll see. Yeah, there's the Garrosh ban. Okay. So swapping that Anduin ban from Game 1 for an Oriole ban in Game 2, I think that's a great choice for the fine folks on Rooster Pizza. And so Anduin becomes top priority. All right, first pick Anduin. I don't think Rooster Pizza have played that much Anduin. Preferring a lot more Stukov, of course, which, once again, has been banned. I would love to see them pick up the Blaze. I say as they do it. The Vala as well. Excellent. Yamao Cat's looking very strong in Game 1 on the Demon Hunter. We'll see how ReGen, DeGen want to pair it. I'd expect a Tassadar, if only because Pat has played lots of Tassadar thus far this season. Of course, ReGen have also shown some triple melee compositions here throughout the season with a 4/4 Thrall. There's the Johanna, and it's going to be Asmodan. Asmodan is always an interesting choice on these large battlegrounds that can have protracted objective fights because of the Demon Lieutenant trait, giving you a lot of side lane soak as well as some pushing power. There's the Dahaka ban. Random Engineer from DeGen has been playing a fair bit of the Apex Predator. We'll see how DeGen want to narrow Rooster's options. I'd expect a tank ban here, perhaps the Varian again. Shane looked pretty solid on the King of Stormwind, but they do still need a healer as well, so we could see a healer ban as well. It's going to be Kalthbas instead. Alright. Prove me wrong, why don't you? Alright, next two picks. We need another frontliner and a healer. I'd expect to see those picked up here and leaving that flex slot available for perhaps a double support. Varian and Tyrande. Okay. I don't know that Rooster Pizza have played double support yet this season, but they're currently set up for an excellent double healer composition. Tyrande bringing a fair bit of damage from the support role. Last two picks here for ReGen, DeGen. We need an offlaner and another damage healer. Alright, it's going to be Thrall and Ragnaros. Both can offlane, both can serve as your flex damage dealer. A pretty flexible draft as far as lane arrangement is concerned for ReGen. Last pick here for Night Knight. And this is kind of the role flexibility Jaina that I alluded to. Take a look at our heroes as the swap around may or may not come through. Night Night playing off lane in game 1. Looks like they're going to be on the Jaina for game 2. So that's the role flexibility that Rooster Pizza have been flexing around with thus far in the season. The Varian Tyrande, an excellent pairing. Varian Tyrande Jaina can blow up every single one of ReGen's heroes. Johanna offers some peel, as does Thrall, as does Anduin, but they're also all prime targets of their own right. So once again, I think Rooster Pizza has the more straightforward draft. I prefer it, but based on how game 1 went, I think we might have ReGen take it here in game 2 as well. We can introduce them once again. On the left in blue, we've got Prostman Pat on Ragnaros, Meow Meow Cats on Asmodan, Random Engineer playing Thrall, Taco on Johanna, and Belaravia on Anduin. To the right in red, looking to get their first map win against this team in the season, we've got Rooster Pizza, Pato on Vala, Cranky Rhino on Tyrande, Night Night on Jaina, Shane on Varian, and Dr. J playing Blaze. So a Blast Wave build for Pat, opting for Engulfing Flames level 1. Taco stepping really far up, trying to get a very fast first clear on the minion wave and set Meow Meow Cats up for 26 stacks already. Make that 42 stacks. Thanks to Rooster Pizza's positioning, they've been getting a lot of friendly hugs, and so that's given Meow Meow Cats lots of opportunities to get additional stacks thanks to their level 1 Gluttony. Man, that is a lot of stacks for Asmodan. This could snowball really quickly if Rooster Pizza aren't careful, especially pre-level 4, Varian quite weak. On the bot side, Night Night and Pato both trying to push in onto Random Engineer. Thrall's going to have a little bit trouble in this duo lane if they choose to step up and push. Not the strongest wave clear for that War Chief. They didn't get their favorite War Chief, but they got their second favorite War Chief because timelines and lore. ReGen DeGen getting busy here on their Knoll camp. Rooster Pizza, though they got the later start, they're going to be finished first, thanks to both of their damage dealers committing. Of course, it means that they've lost a little bit of experience here in bot lane. Level 4 is online for ReGen. Slow burn, so a slow on the Blast Wave Eruption. We've also got, okay, Frostwolf Pack. Looking to get those stacks together for the Thrall for additional cooldown reduction. Ooh, there's the taunt onto Taco. They don't have Iron Skin available, but it looks like they're going to be able to escape. Night Night didn't have enough damage to get through the Johanna health pool just yet. Level 4 is a big power spike for Rooster Pizza, thanks to the level 4 heroic from Varian, Taunt. Jaina already up to 6, make it 7 globes, 4 Fingers of Frost at level 1. And a different Jaina player means a different Jaina build. We've got Frost Shard, the Pierce for the Frostbolt. Taunt onto Random Engineer, immediately blown up. That's going to reset their stacks for their level 4 quest. And that evens out the experience, more or less. That takedown takes care of the minions that Rooster Pizza have missed here and there. Dr. J continuing to put pressure onto Pat in the top lane. Both teams tending to the true objective, the Knoll camp, paying their prisoners no mind. A little bit more vision from Tyrande. Those Sentinels are another reason that Tyrande pairs so well with Varian. Not only does she bring an additional stun and armor reduction for a taunted target, the vision that Sentinel grants is a huge boon. Giving Varian the vision advantage means that he can sneak up unawares on those tricky flanks and get the taunt onto the target that they desire. Level 7s, both teams. What do we got? Dr. J gets the body block onto Taco. Blizzard does not connect, however. Random Engineer taunted up. Rooster Pizza continue to get a little bit of progress here. Meow Meow Cat's taking so much damage from Pato. It was all a distraction. Taco, looking for the completion on their quest, is going to get nothing but a respawn timer. Second takedown for Rooster Pizza, and they are already off to a much better start here in Game 2. Alrighty. So, ReGen are back to full fighting force, and they're still pretty even on experience, leading in fact, thanks to the minion experience that they have in their favor. Taco getting very aggressive, finds Night Knight. Oh, and Velravia likely to trade. Cranky Rhino next to fall. Takedowns on both sides. Pato getting a little bit of damage here. Shane isn't going to escape that last flashlight. Dr. J getting chased down here. One more slow from Postman Pat, and that'll do it. So 4 takedowns for ReGen DeGen means that they're going to have a relatively easy clear on the objective, given that they've got their heroics up as well. Army of Hell paired with Bombardment. Meow Meow Cat's getting a lot of auto attack damage available, up to 145 stacks for their baseline quest, as well as their level 1 quest, because they're separate quests, technically. What else do we have? Heroics, I didn't even call them out. Lava Wave, Tide of Sin, Sundering, Falling Sword, very interesting, and Light Bomb. Rooster Pizza have evened up talent tiers here. We've got Rain of Vengeance, Starfall, and 2 of 3 undecided. I would love to see them just start boss. Just right now. Yeah, do it up. Rooster Pizza would love to have DeGen come fight them. Random Engineer playing it very safe, realizing that Avala alone is likely not alone. And so it's going to give ReGen DeGen the opportunity to start a boss before Rooster Pizza. As we have another pause. Alrighty. Looks like we had a disconnection. So hopefully someone is faxing Shane a little bit more RAM so that they can get the game going again. In the meantime, where are we at on the map? So ReGen DeGen dropped the first objective, but got a free clear thanks to their decisive teamfight win over the last couple of moments on that objective. Oh no, it looks like the disconnected player is also disconnected from their Discord. So this might be a longer pause, so please be patient, stick with us. If you're not patient and don't want to stick with us, there are other NGS games going on. So you can catch other folks live with more Heroes of the Storm NGS action. of course, I'd love for y'all to stick around. As we discuss where we are in Game 2, bottom boss has been started by ReGen DeGen. Top boss hasn't been started by Rooster Pizza, and I think they've lost the opportunity. DeGen have the Null camp pushing in mid lane, so someone from Rooster Pizza is going to have to respond to that. So I guess they could split their DPS. We could have Vala, Tyrande, Varian working on top boss while Jaina splits to mid lane to handle that camp. It's a little bit more of a nuanced lane split. So I know that some teams, when they've drafted Varian comps, really like to stay connected. And if that's the case for Rooster Pizza, the window might have closed on their boss opportunity. Hopefully we'll have Shane rejoining here shortly. There is contact, thankfully, so they're not alone out there floating through the universe. Let's talk a little bit more about these matchups. Once again, I think Rooster Pizza do have the tools to blow up any target. ReGen DeGen have already suffered more losses in this game with 3 deaths across 3 heroes. So as long as they don't lose too many on the counter swing, Rooster Pizza can continue to get these picks and snowball those into wins. Unfortunately, I think until level 13 comes online and Shattering Throw becomes a viable option, Johanna is going to continue to have kind of free reign in the backline. Taco has been getting very aggressive with their condemn and punish combos, walking deep into Rooster Pizza's backline, and it's allowed for Thrall and Asmodan. Oh, remember, that's what the heroes are. Thrall and Asmodan to connect all their damage onto some of the squishier targets. Tyrande, Vala, and Jaina, all 3 of them are viable kill targets. Throw the Ragnaros damage in on top of it, and it's a fair bit of burst available to DeGen. Of course, they don't have any solid lockdown. Sundering brings some, Light Bomb brings some, but ideally you would use, I guess you could Sunder into a Light Bomb. I just don't think of Falling Sword as an engagement heroic. It's a lot more useful into a cleanse, or used as a cleanse into some sort of wombo combo. But given the melee-heavy composition that ReGen DeGen have drafted, Falling Sword can play a little bit too far ahead of themselves with a Blessed Shield. And so it seems as though it's perhaps a acknowledgement of their limited range. It looks like we are making progress on the reconnection here, just to keep y'all abreast of where we are. Contact has been restored in Discord, though I don't think they've made it back into the game client yet. Let's take a look at our builds a little bit more. We talked a little bit about ReGen's heroics. Rooster Pizza have more lockdown available to them. They've got Starfall for the AoE slow. They've also got Rain of Vengeance for some additional lockdown. So both solid things. Ice Lance and Frost Shard at level 7 and 4 for the Jaina means that come level 13 I'd expect to see Icy Veins, and so that shotgun build of, or not shotgun, but machine gun build of Frost Bolts means that the melee heavy composition from ReGen DeGen won't fare as well. Lots of jokes about where Shane is playing from in the chat. Love to see that excellent banter back and forth with these teams. Div D seems to be a very congenial division, which is just another reason that NGS is such a great community to be a part of. Thanks again to everyone who tuned in and who are sticking it out through this pause. We are hopefully going to be rejoined shortly by our 10th player. Ooh, and we've got questions going out on who is ready. So we should be off to the races here in but a matter of moments. Alrighty, alright. So, top lane, Rooster Pizza is committed. Bot lane, ReGen is most of the way through their boss already. We've got Night Knight tending to mid lane, but no reciprocal boss. Falling a little bit further behind on experience as well, with the minions, mercenaries, and heroes all favoring ReGen DeGen. Dr. J is going to be stuck in bot lane dealing with this boss for a while. Frankie, Rhino, and Pato getting through another Null camp. And it looks like, based on DeGen's movements on the battleground, they're going for a double boss play. Rooster Pizza might be able to step up and defend if they commit all 5 heroes to that rotation now. It will be down a talent tier, of course. Oh no, Pato caught really far out. Oh no, the takedown onto the Vala. They lose their first Gambit stack quest? Charge? However you want to refer to that. Their attack speed is not quite as fast, dear viewers. Taco taking a lot of punishment from this boss. Villaravia caught in the middle of nowhere. Oh, the boss stun hits Tyrande. Oh no. It looked like things were turning around for Rooster Pizza. Night Knight will get a takedown onto Taco. Christman and Pat chasing the Jaina down. They're not going to be able to make it out alive. So a bunch of takedowns on both sides, but in the end, 7-5 in favor of ReGen DeGen overall. Top fort already bruised a bit. We'll see how much damage the boss is able to secure. With Pato in range, I don't think the fort will fall, but Varian and Vala alone aren't a lot of damage. And the boss has been consistent. Yeah, it's just a sliver of HP left. So I'd expect a Globe of Annihilation from Meow Meow Cats to finish that one off. Even talent tiers here. Oh, we've got Ice Barrier at 13 for Jaina. So not quite the old school build that was very popular in HGC. A counter engage with Sundering. Vel steps up with the Light Bomb as well. Random Engineer kind of caught on an island here, and that'll be the takedown. Dr. J stunned by the Falling Sword, but it's only for a moment. Oh, the flashlight kill onto Jaina. Dr. J Shane will escape. Oh, one quick heal from Cranky Rhino gets the Fire Bat out alive. There's another Lava Wave, this time for bot lane. That might be enough to take out the fort. With that minion wave getting taken out, it's going to be a double stacked wave, hitting a already half HP fort. Level 16s in their hands. ReGen, DeGen start up the objective. So additional damage available to Random Engineer with Alpha Wolf. On the bot side, Meow Meow Cats engaged upon, but Velaravia is in range with their Leap of Faith. Glyph of Faith at level 16 means they've got 2 charges, though they're still waiting for one of them to come back off cooldown. "14 seconds remain on the objective for DeGen. Rooster Pizza would love to even out the talent tier here. They need a little bit more minion experience. This is a big wave in top lane, so that'll get them most of the way there, but they're unable to get the stall. Random Engineer finding the channel there. And Ragnaros committing the Molten Core as well. Rooster Pizza have evened up the talent tiers, but they're not going to be able to step in with the zone control from the raid boss. Northern Exposure. Okay, another Sundering. Taco engaging onto the backline here. Night Knight falling very low, but they're going to get out to safety. Bunker down solves most of their troubles. Night Knight's still low. Oh, and a double takedown. With the objective in their favor, ReGen DeGen are going to be able to get a lot of push done. They've committed all their heroics already, but they've already taken out the healer. So Rooster Pizza are going to have a tough time stepping up to get through these generals. Full 5 hero commitment to the mid lane. I think that makes sense with the Asmodan and Ragnaros. You can get a lot of side lane soak with your trait and your heroic respectively, so why not commit heavily, group up as 5 and get some pushing done. They'll do just that. Take down 2 keeps. They're looking for more. Oh no, they find another takedown, this time onto Jaina, right as the respawns came in for the rest of Rooster Pizza. Taco continues to go deep, this time with the Falling Sword. There's the taunt onto Velaravia, however. Dr. J falling low. They're able to step back into the Hall of Storms. Random Engineer's damage over time from the level 7 could not connect. Pato has to retreat once again. Core taking a little bit of tickle damage, but Alterac does not mind. Drekthar. Or is it Duratin? I don't know. One of the orcs, guys. I've never even played a Warcraft game. Not a single time. So the fact that I know as much lore as I do is all credit to this fine MOBA. And being curious. Either way, he regens is the point. The core will get its HP back. Bottom boss started up by Rooster Pizza. And the DeGens don't have to fight at all. They've got the map strongly in their favor. They're just moments away from their Storm talents. Rooster Pizza need to take the fight to DeGen if they're looking to, if they're gonna try and turn this game 2 around. Mid lane Knowles are marching in. Top lane will have a boss in it. And Storm talents in their favor. I think this is the best opportunity that DeGen will have for the time being to get in heavily advantaged fight on the core. Looks like they're gonna take this opportunity to start up the objective instead. I think Rooster Pizza have got to be relatively pleased about that outcome. It's going to give them an opportunity to equalize talent tiers here. We'll see how much damage the boss is able to get on the core. With only one armor plate remaining, looks like the core is still sturdy enough. Yeah, I would have loved to see DeGen either go for bot keep there or even pressure to end on core. The objective play just a little bit slow for my taste. Because as mentioned, Rooster Pizza almost have their Storm talents. TokiB, thank you for the raid. Happy to have everyone joining us here in Div D. We're in Game 2, and ReGen DeGen are well positioned for another map win. We'll see if Rooster Pizza can make the difference here with Storm talents now online. We've got Farflight Quiver, upgrade on Starfall, Wintermute, Banner of Dalaran, Taco taking so much damage. There's the bunker from Dr. J. Oh, they're kind of out on an island though. Taco falling low. The root stops the jet propulsion, and Blaze is first to fall. Core already taking damage here. The DeGens will finish off the final keep and get busy on the core. Wintermute comes out, but Tyrande falls. Pato is next, and with only 2 heroes alive, Rooster Pizza are unlikely to make this defense, and that's all she wrote for the core. GG and well played to both of our teams, but ReGen DeGen once again getting the better of the team. Alrighty. What do we have here for Game 2? That was once again in favor of the DeGens. We'll see our post-game stats as well. Who do we have? Azmodan, top of the lobby. Almost 59,000 hero damage. Pato and Vala, top of their team. Not a bad showing from them. Much closer in the takedowns. But in the end, still heavily favoring ReGen DeGen. And we can see Ragnaros and Azmodan both contributing about the same level of experience. It's what allowed them to stay so far ahead despite the early takedown lead for Rooster Pizza. Final look at our builds. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. Looks about right. Okay. So let's head over to our battleground selection here and muse about where we might be headed for Game 3. Of the battlegrounds available, I think if I'm Rooster Pizza, I would look at ReGen's poor season record on Tomb of the Spider Queen. as perhaps our best bet. If they want to go with Battleground selection once again. Infernal Shrines, another solid choice. It would suit the varying composition that they've been running in games 1 and 2. Both Battlegrounds, for that matter, would. Because of the tight rotations required and the nature of both of the objectives being in lane or close to a lane and therefore hard to contest or ignore, for that matter. Before we get into Game 3, I'm going to take a quick step away, refresh my water, but please do stick around. We'll be back shortly with Game 3 in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. So don't go anywhere, friends. Stick around for Game 3. Welcome back, everyone. We are almost ready for our third game of the season. Series, rather. And it looks like we're going to be headed to Brax's Holdout. All right. As chosen by ReGen. A very different look compared to the first two battlegrounds we've seen. Both a little bit larger, more rotational based. Of course, I wouldn't say more rotational based, because depending on how it's played, Braxis can be a highly rotational battleground. Lots of different ways to split up your lanes. It doesn't always have to be the traditional Storm League 1-4 setup. And with ReGen choosing, I have to wonder if they are just confident in their mechanical abilities. If they want to just play that traditional 1-4 split, being confident that you're going to win the 4v4 or the 1v1 or perhaps both certainly helps. It would require an alternate response from Rooster Pizza, perhaps a 2-3 lane split. Of course, Rooster Pizza, with Pato on their roster, they really enjoy those auto-attack stacking Zul'jin, Bala, Greymane heroes, and so a constant fight in bot lane would be extraordinarily helpful for getting Rooster Pizza some much-needed early game power. We should be off to the races here shortly. Excellent. Let's get into our draft for game number 3. Potentially the final game in the series, if ReGen DeGen are able to close it out on their map pick. Bans have been pretty consistent on the side of the DeGens. Rooster Pizza, I think, had a much better showing in game number 2, so I think the draft considerations adjustments that they made in the ban phase will continue to help them here. Oriel, of course, a manaless hero, is very strong on a battleground like Brax's Holdout. They opt to go back to the Anduin ban. ReGen DeGen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Want to get rid of the Stukov. It is Rooster Pizza's favorite healer. Likely a Garrosh ban. Yeah. That is the one consistent piece across all 3 games here for Rooster Pizza. And I imagine this is the Zul'jin ban that we've been seeing precisely. Alright, first pick for Rooster Pizza. It's going to be the Oriole first pick. Okay, so choosing it away rather than banning it out. I like that choice. As mentioned, Oriole's strong on the battleground, so being able to keep ReGen from gaining access to the Angel of Hope and getting yourself some mana-less sustain doesn't hurt. Of course, there are other healers that don't require mana to do their healing. Brightwing is among them. Although technically you do heal when you center hit a Q, but for passive also. Anyway. Vala pairing with the Oriole. I think that makes sense. And another Blaze pickup. Blaze not necessarily the best duelist of the cast. So I'll be interested to see if that betrays a alternate laning arrangement for Rooster Pizza. Next ban here is going to be Kael'thas. Same as in game number 2. We saw a Stitches ban and a Dahaka ban in games 1 and 2 in this third slot for Rooster Pizza. So it's really anyone's guess. They could try the Johanna or the Mei. Yeah, they're going to go with the Mei instead. I think that makes sense. Mei a little bit... Neither Joe nor Mei have consistent lockdown, but Mei does bring a stun at level 1. Whereas Johanna can only dream of having one at level 10. Alright, Junkrat and Johanna. Junkrat's such a good pickup for Braxis. Of course, with a double... Well, Junkrat's kind of a mage. Either way, a double burst damage cooldown-based damage structure means that the front line of Rooster Pizza are going to be pretty comfortable to step up.
Reckoning is at hand.
Falstad Tyrael. Tyrael. Cool. Tyrael's very cool. Random Engineer, last pick here. It's going to be Dahaka. Alright, let's take a look at our drafts. As our teams load in to the final game. It's not game 1, it's game 3, silly Billy. Alright. Yeah, I think the global matching... yeah, I really like... Once again, I think Rooster Pizza have done an excellent job drafting here. The Falstad, a lot more of a flexible global to pick up rather than the Dahaka. Tyrael, Oriole, Vala all fit together very nicely. ReGen, DeGen, very cooldown dependent with the Tassadar Junkrat. Of course, if execution is any, or previous game execution is any hint, then ReGen, DeGen might be able to close it out here in the third game of this best of 5. We've got Pressman Pat on Tassadar, Meow Meow Cats on Junkrat, Random Engineer playing Dahaka, Taco on Johanna, and Villaravia on Brightwing. Looking to keep this series alive and start the reverse sweep, we've got Rooster Pizza, Pato on Vala, Cranky Rhino on Oriole, Night Knight on Falstad, Shane on Tyrael, and Dr. J playing the Blaze. Games 1 and 2, Pato has struggled a bit to get the stacks together on their various stacking talents. Created the Hunter and Wizened Duelist already off to a much better start here in game number 3. 12 stacks on Creed of the Hunter thus far. Quick check in top lane. Dr. J and Random Engineer duking it out. Dr. J a little bit more innate sustain on the Blaze, but they are running out of mana. On the bot side, Shane teleports out. Night. Oh, narrowly escapes. Oh, Pato. Do they have the vault available? They do. Okay, everybody makes it out to safety. Blaze does have the innate sustain, but the Brightwing does change the math on that a fair bit. Objectives available now for contest. Dr. J is going to secure top objective while ReGen, DeGen get busy on bot. Both teams picking up their bottom lane camps. Dr. J trying to fend off the Apex Predator, but I don't know if they've still got their essence available. They stepped off the point a little too far, and so ReGen, DeGen get first objective channel. Pato caught on the wrong side of the force wall. Oh, they narrowly sidestep the shock ray from Tassadar. Taco falling low here. It's going to draw the phase shift. Dr. J is going to have to hearth with no mana. And so this early objective progress continues to rack up for DeGen. They've also got level 4 talents to boot. About a half level lead there. Is that Chattering Teeth? Yes, Chattering Teeth at level 4. Full Zerg wave in favor of ReGen, DeGen here in bot lane. Looking very comfortable on their map pick. Dr. J coming down to join in the clear. This experience deficit only going to grow further. A great boop. Night able to barrel roll over the wall there. Dr. J lands the jet propulsion onto 2. Crossman Pat takes some damage. Taco down below 100 HP. Shane polymorphed in deep. They're going to be able to escape with about 200 HP. We've got level 4s on both sides. And there is the first objective, Dawn. So a 5-hero commitment did cost them a fair bit of experience, but it meant that Rooster Pizza was able to hold onto their fort basically unscathed. They are pretty darn far behind on minion experience, though. A full level. Random Engineer putting a lot of pressure onto the Blaze here as well. Night flies in, looking for the takedown here. Paco's in range to support their favorite dinosaur. Oh, what a great drag onto Pato with the polymorph follow-up. Cranky Rhino does make it to bestow hope, I believe. Huge jet propulsion. Taco falls, playing it real fast and loose with the Johanna HP pool there. So that takedown, first blood, I might add, is going to even things up a little bit in experience. Level 7's just around the corner for Rooster Pizza. And there we have it, even talent tiers now. Swift Retribution. Heck yeah. Great choice for material at level 7. Dr. J looks for the jet propulsion, does not connect. Pato very low here. And Dr. J running himself into a corner. Oh, the jet propulsion. Oh, it's not enough. Oh no, Meow Meow Cats connects the frag launchers to get a quick 2 takedowns for ReGen, DeGen. I expect that'll be a fort front wall to boot. Objectives available once again. Random Engineer picking up the bot lane uncontested with Tyrael making the rotation up here. little bit of a staggered walk onto the point means that Shane takes a lot of damage before anyone joins. Here's the Brushstalker in from Random Engineer. The drag does not connect. A polymorph onto Shane, however, is going to be enough. Cranky Rhino and Pato make it out to safety. Taco taking so much damage here. Oh, one more auto would have done it, I think. But the Valo was too low to commit. On the bot side, Dr. J was able to wrest control back. And so 62% is where ReGen, DeGen are going to have to take their first pause. Checking in on that bot lane fight. Random Engineer dodging that jet propulsion means that Dr. J is going to have to continue to waddle away. Random Engineer able to apply even more pressure to Blaze's HP pool with level 7 online. The newly gambitized Feeding Frenzy. Taco stepping back up here. They've got heroics. They're going to use them. Cranky Rhino so low! Shane in deep. Shane is going to fall, but it means that their Oriole makes it out to safety. The Archangel of Justice putting their life down on the line for the Archangel of Hope. We saw a bunch of those. We saw all of those heroics flying. What did we see? We saw Black Hole, Riptire, Isolation was used, I assume, on the bot side, and Blessed Shield with Blink Heal for Belaravia. Rooster Pizza just about to secure heroics of their own. This top fort, not long for this world, but perhaps with heroics, they'll be able to clean up this Zerg wave quickly and fight past if ReGen DeGen stick around too long. Night barrel rolls in a little bit too far. We see the Sanctification to save Shane. Taco falling low once again, but it's Shane who falls instead. They'll get some trait value exploding onto the Guardians, the last few remaining Zerg of DeGen's second wave. And here's the rotation in. They're onto Dr. J. They drop the bunker, but they're not going to be able to escape. Taco draws the fort aggro and tanks some amount of their HP pool, mostly for free, thanks to their trait. Level 13's just around the corner for the DeGens, and they are in a commanding lead here, looking for the 3-0. There's a quick 30 clip. Rooster Pizza do have some tools at their disposal. If they're able to even up the talent tier and keep eyes on the boss, they're in trouble here, though. Yeah, Taco's in deep. They've got the heroics available. There's the Blessed Shield. A great Sanctification. The dig in, and the drag lands onto Night. They've already committed the Gust, and so that is a dead chicken. Silence onto the Oriole as well. Every heroic was thrown, and a takedown got found. Another great drag. Random Engineer landing true with these stuns. So top keep will survive. A quick trip back to the Hall of Storms for some resources will put the DeGens in an excellent position for the next objective phase, with the beacons spawning in the next 5 seconds. if Rooster Pizza are able to get to that even talent tier and force a fight, they've got tools. They could make a difference here. Of course, it's really hard on Braxis to force a fight, especially if a team is comfortable and confident playing Ring Around the Rosie. Shane scouted in the bush. And Dr. J is no longer with the team. Rooster Pizza are 4v4, but of course Dahaka is always available. A lot of heroics committed. Night Knight gets the barrel roll. Oh no, but it means that Cranky Rhino is going to fall. Random Engineer lands another drag after getting another takedown. Oh my goodness. ReGen DeGens 13-1 in takedowns. They get another ace. They've got their siege camp already softening up the keep wall and a full Zerg wave behind it. This could be game, depending on how the defense goes. Rooster Pizza will not have to contend with another round of heroics. Isolation, Riptire, and Black Hole all still on cooldown for the time being. But with Random Engineer's drags landing as consistently as they are, it almost doesn't matter. Blessed Shield a little bit far for the team to follow up. Keep is down. Zerg Wave still at about 73%. Another drag, this time onto Night Knight. And that's another takedown. The extended range at level 16 from Elongated Tongue making the difference there. And it buys enough space for the Zerg Wave to finish off the core for a 3-0 in favor of ReGen DeGens. Really well played to the home team. I'm so far out of... Let's just kick it over to stats then. Man. ReGen DeGen really showing up in these fights. Across all three games, they looked polished. They looked consistent. The number of times that I thought Taco had gone too deep, only for them to end up with 3 takedowns, it was really impressive. So let's head over to our post-series wrap-up, and see about an interview. Looks like I'll probably be joined shortly. So ReGen DeGens sticking with their performance in the regular season. They're able to and it looks like we will be joined here shortly by one of the DeGens. I want to make sure that everything is set up well for them. Guys, did you know that producing an esports broadcast while you're also performing an esports broadcast can be challenging? It's why you hear me catching myself mid-thought so often. Perhaps a little look behind the curtain that you all weren't interested in, but you get nothing but the truth here on The Sound. So let's head over to one of our post-game lobbies. And it looks like we're going to be joined by the tank extraordinaire for Hello, hello. Let me just kick over to the. No, it's all good. They can't hear you yet, so. Over to the interview scene, so everyone can hear you. Welcome, GG's.
Oh yeah.
3-0. That's got to feel good for the first game of the postseason. How is it morale-wise for the DeGens?
We're ready to go to bed, man.
I remember that.
You know, three games is a long. Being ready for a BO5, like it's like sleepy time.
I can respect that. It's pumpkin o'clock, as is often said around the Protectors of Ire Discord.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you work 12.5-hour shifts all the time. It's like you just want to enjoy a game, and then NGS is like, let's make them BO5.
Yeah, best of 5 is nice for making sure that the stronger team wins, but also...
I agree, it's better tournament health for sure.
Yeah.
Well, typically we just start an hour earlier and it's no problem, but this season NGS had some like tricky stuff with like East Coast, West Coast, and it's nobody's fault, you know. They had to do it for division size. It was just tricky, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So
but we got a good set in. So
yeah, it was a great set. You guys looked super duper comfortable. You were able to.
You look super comfortable.
Thank you. You guys were able to maintain a undefeated record against Rooster Pizza. I was unable to take a look at your regular season matches, so I'm curious, were they close to O's or were they dominant showings as was this season or this series tonight?
Against this team, or just like in general?
I would say that they're a very consistent performing team, and I think that's something that's good to see in tournament play is consistency.
I'd say we're consistent too.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Heck yeah. Pat yourself on the back. You're winners.
Well, today we're winners. We're not winners every match. That's, very clear in our history.
Today is the only day that we can truly remember. Did yesterday happen? Are we sure? Is it all illusion?
No.
Oh no.
Taco, this is turning into a podcast. I'm trying to stop it.
You've been watching me too much.
I tell him he can't count.
So game 1, let me take a look here. Game 1, we saw Volskaya Foundry, your battleground selection. The May looked very strong. I think they were only able to secure one takedown. It was the only time you guys got your hands on Oriel, and it looked rock solid.
I'm sorry, what? I missed everything. I missed literally everything I tried to do.
No, you did not.
I definitely did. If we count all of my whiffs, it's probably more slabs whiffed than slabs connected.
Well, that's just
like
Ariel.
New highlight rule: if you don't stop missing it, you don't stop missing it, you don't stop missing.
That'd be so fun. You always say you're gonna make me and Win pull highlight reels, and you never do.
That's how you know I'm a good husband. I don't follow through.
Very interesting. And then for game 2, Alterac Pass, a somewhat similar battleground in that the objective isn't inherently strong on its own, and it's really big. Are these larger battlegrounds more to your liking? I would have expected that, but then you chose Braxis for game 3.
No, we don't really like big ones, or I think we like medium ones. Like
Taco loves big ones. Okay,
I'm
just need
starting to
make
feel
No,
insecure
Rage.
about the way my wife is talking. It's more about the play style of a map than the size.
Absolutely.
Well,
It's about how you use it.
It's not about the size of the map. It's about the flow of the battle, or whatever it is they say.
Exactly. And then game 3. Now, my theory crafting on picking Braxis was that, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but Random Engineer, to me, looked like
a fucking badass. Sorry, like a freaking badass.
like a freaking badass, yeah. And
Canadian
100%.
God.
Sorry, I hit your one for the stream. I'm sorry.
that's
He
a-okay.
voted against Praxis.
He
I'll
was like,
tell you
guys,
what.
don't make me do this.
Well, Braxis
You're
is like the worst map for an offlaner because it's so stressful, right? Like if you don't win the offlane, the game's over.
Yeah.
It can be,
Yeah.
certainly. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
if
For
not,
sure.
it requires like a very different approach, which can be hard to
Exactly.
pivot to
Like you're
mid-game.
right. Like your team has to move to you and whatever. No one ever thinks about the offlane.
I did
Nobody
take Brightwing
wants to
for that
come to
purpose.
you.
I think about the offlane, Rach.
You do.
You've trained me well.
Sorry,
I
Sal.
don't,
We interrupted.
I don't think
We
you
did
went to the
interrupt your
offlane
question.
once,
though.
though.
What was your actual question gonna be?
No, I mean, that was really the question is like how much of that was based on talking with your offlaner and saying like, hey, you think you can beat, like, how good are you feeling in this 1v1? You know, you've got 2 games under your belt.
So I think most of our decision making there was that it's usually the fastest map, and it's after 11 o'clock
Yep.
for the East Coasters.
Yep. I can respect
What's
that.
that what's that Anakin and Padme meme where she's like, "You're getting value in offlane, right?" Right? Yeah. That's the entirety of our tactics for Braxis.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my God.
actually that's it. And that's why our team loves Braxis.
No, we don't. We hate it.
Hold up. No, nobody likes Braxis. We just play
Mhm.
Braxis because it's better than like Sky Temple or whatever the fuck it's called.
It's because you hate the offlaner and want them to suffer.
I want you to suffer, Rage. Get back in the off. I mean, Meow Cats. Get back in the off lane.
Get back
I-
in the kitchen
dots.
off lane.
I can't say if Meow Meow Cats is right about your general feeling towards the offlaner, but I will say there is only one person not present in this call from the
It's the
team.
He
offlaner.
went straight
Well,
to bed
You,
also.
well, listen. It's Mother's Day weekend. You know, he's got a bunch of kids. Like he worked a full day. Just getting him to be able to play tonight was freaking.
He's
you
like,
know,
I'll be
yeah,
there
that's
once
huge.
I get the map
Sick.
made.
So. Yeah, he did. That was pretty.
Like, I'll show up for.
We just had to make it work, and it was fine. You know.
Then a
It's
big
just
shout
a
out to Random
couple
Engineer for
weekends or
tending to the
weeks.
family and to the Hots family.
Shout out to
Exactly.
Random's wife.
Really, that's it.
Oh,
Mhm.
And to
Thank
all the
you.
wives out there.
Well,
I accept.
Amen, brother.
Amen.
yeah.
While we're doing shout outs, I don't have any other good questions. I'll want to let you guys get back and celebrate and or sleep. But before you
I think we
leave,
still have like 30 minutes to meet Cliff's money back warranty. I'm looking out for you.
I appreciate that. Any other shout outs you want to give? The floor is yours. Feel free.
My wife for keeping me alive, except for all the times I died.
Well, that's most of the game.
Yeah.
Shout out to the sound. Thank you for casting us.
Absolutely.
Yay,
Happy to.
thank you.
And
This was
the POA and POS members that came out to cheer us on.
Or Scout, if you're POS.
I
Mhm.
mean, Boomer already knows everything about us. So.
That's true. That's true.
Shout out to Pat for never dying
I guess I didn't. Shout
and
out
from being
to
for Canada.
I would say
Definitely
this was almost as good as getting 3rd place in fantasy league this season.
Ugh.
That might be a little bit better than winning this win.
Thank you so much, Sound.
And thank you all for joining us for the interview. Excellent showing tonight, and good luck for the rest of the postseason.
Thanks, man. You have a good one.
Take care.
Thank you.
Good night.
And shout out Jack.
Night.
So there you have it, friends. That is the series. ReGen, DeGens, all very pleased with their performance, and I can't say I blame them. They looked polished and sharp tonight. I'm sure they're going to look for more of that performance as they face off against their round 2 opponents, Protectors of Shakuras. Before I sign off, I'll give some shout outs of my own. First and foremost, to all you who tuned in, thank you for coming out to support these teams. Being a part of this league is an excellent opportunity for all of us to get to play together and cheer each other on. If you are not yet a member of the league and would like to, you may have seen the little NGS plug that we have showing up in chat every now and then. You can also use !NGS to get more information about the league. So please join us if you're not a member already. And speaking of NGS, I want to give a shout out to all of the volunteer staff. It is a free-to-join league, and it is thanks to all of the volunteers who put their hard work and time and effort into making it a warm and welcoming environment to all of us HOTS players. So a huge thank you for all of them. And last but not least, well, hold on. Did I say thanks to everyone who tuned in? Yeah, I already did that. So last but not least, a final shout out for all of the artists, programmers, and musicians whose work I feature here on the stream. It would not look or sound anywhere near as good without their contributions. You can find links to all of their work below the video or coming up here in a credit roll after I sign off. Please do go check out their work. It's all fantastic Creative Commons or open source licensed material. So if you've heard or seen anything that you like, it could be in your next project as well. Until next time, friends, good luck and have fun out there. Peace and love.